Okay, how about now? You guys hear me now? You guys should be able to hear me now. Let me see. Yeah, that's not muted. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. All right, I realize what's going on here. I had this problem a week ago as well. Okay, sorry about that. So I was talking to myself for the first 4 minutes. Great. All right, so I'm going to have to start that over again. All right, so real quick, again, welcome to the stream, everyone. If you're new, my name is Mark Premarkets. I'm just going to have to abbreviate this because I just went over all this stuff. So welcome. Normally, I stream on Mondays. I do my analysis stream on Mondays. But today I'm doing this Let's Trade Bitcoin stream, all right, which I also conducted one the previous Friday. And the purpose of this stream is not only to look for trades, but I also wanted to make some sort of like tutorial video for all the new members that have been coming on so they have some place to start. Okay, I'll make a more concise one soon that's just straight to the point with no trades in it, just how to use the scanner itself. But I wanted to combine the two. Okay, so that's what I'm getting at over here. All right, so let's get this thing started real quick. All right, hold on. So this is for educational purposes only. For investment advice, please consult a licensed investment advisor. Okay, now, real quick. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to talk about how to set up the trade scanner properly, and then I'm going to make some points about that, and then we're going to look for trades. Okay, so again, if you're new to the trade scanner, welcome. Also, if you want to share what city or what country you're from, that's always a fun fact. I am streaming from the greater New York City area in case you guys don't know that. All right, cool. So, yeah, all right, I'm just looking at the chat here. Okay, so just a couple of things real quick before we get started. First, if you check the links in the description, you'll notice a few things. Please press the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of other valuable content on the YouTube channel you guys could check out. Like I just had a student meeting on Wednesday, and that's available on the on the YouTube channel. I usually don't make those available there, so you can check that out as well. And I go over some position sizing and risk management things using the Trade Scanner Pro. Now, so the other thing is, if you want to try out Trade Scanner Pro for 14 days for free, there's a link in the description. Check that out. Again, the price that I'm charging for this thing right now is an introductory price. So lock in the price now because these prices are going up. Okay, so you can start a 14-day free trial. The link is in the description. I'll go over that more soon. The second thing is you'll notice there are affiliate links in the description as well, okay, for Bybit and for MEXC. Those are Stian's affiliate links, okay? So do the guy a favor, help him out, open an account, fund the account, and place some trades. He gets a small cut of your commission, but it goes a long way into helping him support the community. Stian is the guy that helped me build this trade scanner, and he works relentlessly to improve it, okay, on his time. So please help the guy out. He's sent me 2 updates so far on this thing, and we've only had this thing running for like a week and a half. But this is not all he helped me with. He also is responsible for all the technology in the Discord community. Okay, he also helped me build the Trade Scanner bot, which sends out the trades by email and all that other stuff. So again, show him some love. All right, so I just wanted to mention that. And by the way, that's for non-US subscribers or non-US customers. US customers, we don't have an affiliate for that yet. We're working on that. So if you're non-US, then consider Bybit and MEXC. And also one thing we have in the pipeline, which is going to take some time, but people have been asking about auto trades, where basically we can take the signals, right? We could take the orders from the trade scanner on TradingView and send them to your exchange on your behalf, right? That's coming, but it's not available yet. All right. So just wanted to mention that. Also, one other thing, if you sign up for the trade scanner, allow me a few hours to send you the invite. We have a lot of people. I get all these messages. People are expecting an instant invite. I have to manually send you the invite. And sometimes I have other things I have to get done. And by the time I see your message and blah, blah, blah. So please allow me a few hours. I will get the invite to you. Okay. Anyway. All right. So with all that out of the way, let's get this thing started, shall we? If you have questions, just put them in the chat and I'll answer as I go. Let me see what you guys are saying here. If you're in China, North Korea, or United States, okay, sorry. Yeah, there is a restricted list. There is a list of restricted countries. So even with those affiliate links, okay? So keep that in mind. All right, so let's. Hey, Brian. Okay, good, cool to see you guys. All right, so I see a number of people, some of my new people that are on the Trade Scanner Pro, and that's why I'm doing this, because I want you guys to have something to reference. So the first thing is first, when you get the Trade Scanner Pro, I send you the invite, and then you check. There's a tab called Invite Only. Okay, it's inside this area up here. Here, let me get the arrow. You have to click this up here first, and that'll take you to the Invite Only tab. I'm not going to do that now because I want to save time, but once you have this thing on your chart, this is where you'll see it. Trade Scanner Pro, Market Signals Pro. You'll notice it says 1.5 next to it. That 1.5 is your reward risk ratio, okay? And you'll be able to change that in the settings. We'll talk about that in a moment. When you have the Trade Scanner Pro on your chart, you'll notice this little thing up here, right? These little boxes over here. These boxes tell you the trend, right? The trend, and then you'll have this other thing over here that says conflict. All right, so I'll explain those as well, but that's how you know the chart is running. The script is running. Okay. Now, for those of you that don't know how it works and you'd like to know how it works, I've explained this before, but I'm going to explain it again. The Trade Scanner Pro is the script version, or the Trading View version of my Trade Scanner bot. The bot, this is what it does. It's a trend following momentum reversal system. It works in 3 steps. First, it looks for a trend. It identifies a trend, either bullish or bearish. Okay. Then it measures the pullback in that trend. It measures a pullback. Okay. This is the pullback right here. Pulls back. Trend pulls back. Once once it has the pullback, it then measures changes in momentum at this point. Okay. Once the momentum confirms that it's changing and the next leg begins, it will send a signal in the form of order suggestions. You'll have an entry, right? Actually, let me start it from the stop. It'll look like this. There'll be a stop loss order, which is red. You'll have an entry order, which is blue. And then you'll have a take profit order, which is green. This is the point typically where the trade signal comes out, not the best price, because it needs confirmation. It's assuming that this is going to continue. Okay, and the trend is going to continue and the test of high is going to be made. That is what it's looking for. Now, I have to say something about this. And same for the opposite side, right? If it's bearish. Now, there's a mode called counter trend mode, all right? Counter trend mode looks for this, the mean reversion, okay? The reversion back to the average of the trend, okay? And it'll send you a signal basically here, right? Like right around here somewhere. That's counter trend. And that's for more advanced traders, right? So we'll talk about that in a moment. I just wanted to point that out. Now, one thing I have to say about this real quick. I highly recommend, if you're new to the system, paper trade. Paper trade a few days, paper trade a week. I'm going to say that 1,000 times. Paper trade. Do not use real money. No matter if it's my system, if it's a new tool you're using, if it's someone else's system, paper trade, paper trade. Do not risk real money. It's very important. I know most of you know that, but it's amazing to me, some of the messages I get. Paper trade, okay? Paper trade, because you need to get a feel for what this system is like, and you need to get a feel for the nuance and the context of the market. It also is going to be, it's going to vary based on your market. If you trade Bitcoin, that's not going to be the same as the S&P. That's not going to be the same as the pound dollar, right? So you need to also know your market. You need to know your high volume market times. There's some context that will help you immensely with a tool like this. Now, when we built this tool, the concept I had in mind was to simplify your decision-making process so that you don't have to get all caught up with analyzing this and figuring that. All you have to do is follow the system, okay? That's the goal. But the thing is, your results are not going to be as good as if you have context. Now, in the instructions, if you go to my TradingView description of this thing, I specifically note that the win rate is typically 50%. Now, I get this question a lot. What's the win rate? 50%, it's safe to say 50%, which is basically random. It's not the system, it's the market. The market is typically random. The system does not forecast the future of the market. What this system does is it helps you manage risk. That is the purpose of the system. And it gives you a visual reference so that it takes the guesswork of knowing where to place your orders, right? So if it's if the win rate is 50%, which no one likes to hear, by the way, Everyone wants to hear that it's got a 99% blah, 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 right? Too much people that want that consume too much internet. Anyway, so with a 50% win rate, how do you make money? Well, you make money when you win more amount, okay? You make more money when you win than how much money when you lose. So if you risk $100, but you win $200, you're net up $100. Okay. So since we don't know which trade is going to be the winning trade, it may be this one, it may be the next one, it may be the one after that. Okay. As long as you're keeping your risks small, you may have a couple of losing trades in a row, right? But then when you catch a winner, it's going to make most of it back. That's how this works. Now, it's easy for me to say, cut your losses short, let your winners run, right? That's what everyone says. Oh, that's how you make money. But it's a lot harder to put into practice. A lot harder, especially because emotions get involved, right? So this system was made to help take that burden off your shoulders, and you just basically follow the orders. But when you follow them in terms of context, it helps improve the probability of the signals. I will show you examples of that as we go through this today. So I just had to run through that rant as I, explain how the system works. Okay, let me know if you guys have any questions about that. All right, so the next thing I want to show you here, let me just erase all these lines. So now you know how the system works. All right, the Trade Scanner bot works the same way, except the Trade Scanner bot only works basically on one time frame. Trade Scanner Pro allows you to trade any time frame that you want, any market. There are no limitations. Okay, the bot has limitations. The bot sends out emails when a signal appears. You could learn that about on my website, learn more about that. But that's where the Trade Scanner Pro takes it a step further. Okay. Now, this is very important. I clicked on, if you're wondering how I got that menu, you click up, you go look up here, right, on the Trade Scanner Pro, you roll over the Trade Scanner Pro, and you'll notice a little circle over here, right? It pops up over here. See that little circle that I'm pointing to right there? That little circle brings up your settings tab. All right. And I know this is very beginner, but some people may not know this. This is very important, this tab. Okay. Because you're going to be changing these settings frequently. Now you'll notice here we have, I'm just going to uncheck this one. This right here, all right, it says show previous trade ideas. This puts old trades, previous signals that were generated on your chart. Okay, so when I put that on, look, there was a signal over here. See it? That's a previous signal today on the 5-minute Bitcoin chart. And the other signals, let's see, there were some longs over here. See that? These are historical signals that occurred today. So it's nice to see that because you kind of have an idea of what's going on. So again, we're on the 5-minute. If I put a 1-minute chart up, obviously we're going to see more frequent signals. See that? More frequent signals. Look at that. They're all over the place. Right? So we're going to talk about these, like these double and triple signals appearing in clusters like that. We're going to talk about that. But anyway, that's that setting. Okay. So these, by the way, these settings, when you get Trade Scanner Pro, all of these settings are checked off. They're not on. You have to go in there and turn them on yourself. Okay. The reason why we have it like that is because some people may not want all of these on. So by default, they're off. So you have to turn them on. Okay. And make sure you save, you click on save over here if you want them saved like that. Now, heads up is a very unique feature. And what that does is that gives us a warning. Right? It paints the candles orange. Here, look at this. They're all over the place, right? Look, orange. See that little orange candle? This orange candle over here? Look at that, right? Beautiful pin bar right before the signal. So the orange candles give you a heads up that a signal is likely to follow very soon. So that can be useful in a number of ways. It can get your attention because you're like, okay, a signal may be coming. Now, it doesn't guarantee that the signal will work. It just tells you a signal it may be coming. So you're prepared, okay? Number one. Number two, you can use that as an early entry, but that's extremely advanced because this can turn yellow, right, or green or orange, and then the next candle may just completely turn to garbage, okay? And you can get caught. If you get caught too early, like the next candle can look like this. So it doesn't guarantee that a signal is coming. It's just a heads up. So one way I like to use that is I'll start a very small position, right? So, and I get, usually these heads up are very good prices. And by the time the signal appears, you're green. Right, the trade is green, and now hopefully I can show you an example of that today with if we could find a trade. Now, so that's heads up. I like to keep that on all the time. You should, but if that confuses you, turn it off. The trailing stop, that should pretty much be self-explanatory. We have a trailing stop that appears after some time in the trade, And what will typically will happen is when the trade goes through its take profit, the trailing stop will continue to follow the price. And that is what helps you ride a winner. Remember what I said before? Cut your losses short, let your winners run. This helps you do that. So you should keep trailing stop on. Now, sometimes you have to flip this. You have to turn this on and off because sometimes you'll see a trade, like an old trade that's still on the chart because the trailing stop hasn't been reached. You simply just turn that off and the trade will go away. Sometimes, so you have to play with that. Okay. So we'll probably see some examples where I have to do that. So for now, I'm going to keep that on. And then this is counter trend. Now, when I turn counter trend on, look, we have a signal here, right? When I turn counter trend on, you notice everything flipped. I got historical trades up at these turning points, right? Because the trend right now is bearish, but at this time the trend was probably bullish, and that's why I got these counter trend historical trades, right? Same now. This one, the trend is bearish right now on this time frame, which is a 1 minute. Trend says bearish, right? Not all trend. The trend is specific to the time frame. So if you switch to like a 3 minute, for example, it may be bullish, for example. Or if you switch to a 30-second, it may be bullish. Yet the 1 minute is bearish. So you have to stick to one time frame in the beginning. Don't be confused by that. Just stick to one time frame so that you don't get confused. All right. So that's just another helpful point. Now, so counter trend turns this on, and basically, like I showed you before in the illustration, it's ignoring the trend and it's looking for opposite signals, which is mean reversion, which is what that is, and which is what this is right here. Okay, you'll notice, so this trade is in play. The trailing stop is in play. That's the trailing stop, that orange line right there. Okay, and this thing is halfway, this thing is in the green right now. I haven't even been haven't been able to take this trade. I'm going to just do something that you shouldn't do just for illustration purposes. I'm going to take the trade at a bad price. All right, I'm going to buy one. Only one. Let's see if this goes to the take profit. Now, keep in mind, this is a bad price. Okay, I shouldn't be buying this now. See what I mean? It's turning. I shouldn't be buying this now. I should have bought it here, but I was talking. So, but I just want to see if it goes to the take profit. You get to see a little action. Okay, so we're hoping it goes here, and it looks pretty good. And I'll use the trailing stop to define my risk. Okay. So anyway, so those are the features explained. Okay. Now the only feature that's on by default is the show trend. See that show trend? It says over here. Show trend simply controls this little menu item up here. If you turn off show trend, then this will vanish. Okay, this will go away. All right. So that's pretty much the functionality of TradeScanner Pro. So most of the time you want to keep the heads up on, you want to keep the trailing stop on. See, look, turning orange, all right? Because look, the trend changed as I was talking. The trend was bearish, was it not? It's now bullish again. So now counter trend, if I have counter trend on, which I do, it's going to give me warnings on the counter trend side. Okay. So am I green on this thing? No, this thing just turned on me. So I'm going to get out of it. I was in that from a bad price anyway. Okay. And I'm going to, so this is a counter trend trade. I'm going to short one. Now, this can be confusing. I'm going to turn off the trailing stop. This is the example where I said if you turn off the trailing stop, this trade is still in play, right? This counter trend trade. And the trade is not going to go away until either the profit is reached or the trailing stop is reached, right? So I see this counter trend candle and I'm doing the opposite while there's a trade in play here. Okay. That's confusing and advanced. So it's not something I suggest. I just want to see how this thing works out because I suspect when I see two of these warnings like this in a row, when I see like that on top of each other, I'm willing to give one a try. If I'm wrong, I blow it out. Like it's not going my way here. It's against me a little bit, whatever, right? I'll blow it out if I'm wrong. But what you may find confusing here is there's a signal on the chart. Normally I do this, I like to do this when there's no signal on the chart. So this signal will vanish when we go up here or we touch the trailing stop. In fact, I should probably turn the trailing stop back on so that, this trade can close, the idea can close. Okay. So you notice here the trailing stop has moved. Initially, the trailing stop was like in this halfway point area, right? So this is reducing your risk. Your risk has now been dramatically reduced if for that long. All right. So if I had gotten long here, I'd basically be looking at a break-even trade, basically. Now, keep in mind, you have to place the orders. Okay. These are order suggestions. This thing is not placing the orders for you. I had a question about, what exchange does this integrate with? You place the orders. This doesn't integrate with any exchanges. This is not a trade bot. This is a signal generator, right? So you're still responsible for the orders. We're working on the trade bot, but it's not available yet. All right. So, but the point is this: your risk started out like this, and now your risk has moved to break even. So this is a risk-free trade if you were long. Okay. And that right there alone has a lot of value, because if you give the profit back, if you were long, right, and you give the profit back, okay, you don't lose anything. If you think that's a loss, you have a lot to learn. Okay. Giving back profit is not losing. So this never made it to the take profit. Okay, no problem. I'm waiting for this trade to vanish so that we can get the other trade, the trade that I'm trying to take based on these warning candles. Now, that's why I only have one contract. I'm not putting on more. All right, so the trend hasn't turned back to bearish yet. I'm interested in the counter trend, which try to follow along with that. It's just much more advanced. I'm basically doing two things here at the same time. I'm trying to explain the bullish trade while I'm trying to set up for the bearish trade at the same time. Okay, so there it is. All right, so the bullish trade vanished and we got the bearish trade. All right, now Steen, this thing never touched the trailing stop or whatever. I know you're looking into it. Just wanted to mention it. Notice you got the historical trade here. That was the original trade, right? And now it's closed. So now we see the history on the chart here. So we got this new trade, which is the short. Okay. Now I started one early. I started one on the yellow candles. Now this thing is still hesitating a bit. My trailing stop is still on, right? You have to check these settings, or if you want to see what you have, what modes you're in, you just read this menu up here. It tells you if your trailing stop is on. It tells you if you're in counter trend mode. Okay, so you'll see I'm in both. I have the trailing stop on and I have the counter trend mode. So again, if you're just joining me, this is not we're not assuming here that this trade is going to be correct. What I'm looking for is, if it is correct, I want to be able to ride it and get more out of it if I'm right than if I'm wrong. Okay, think of it like a slot machine. I know people don't want to hear that, but that's the reality of this game. I don't sell hope. Okay, I don't try to sell unrealistic expectations. So you buy my software, you're going to be a millionaire. No, I don't do that nonsense. Okay, that's for fake gurus. So I'm trying to show you reality. I'm trying to show you how this game really works. So look, this trade is not working for me, right? The short that I was assuming, and I got into early, but I have not put on more on the signal. I have not put on more. So if I get stopped out of this, I take a smaller loss compared to if I had 2 or 3 contracts on. The goal for me is to put on more contracts when this thing starts going my way. So I'm minus a few dollars, like $50 or whatever. Okay, no problem. Again, this is on paper. Just so you know, this is a paper trade. This is how you should be using the system in the beginning, on paper. All right, so let's see what happens here. Now, a lot of times what will happen in a situation like this is it'll go against you, okay? And then it'll turn, okay? So this completely stopped out. All right, no problem. Let me get out. I'm out. All right, because it went to the stop. This should vanish. And let's take a look at how much that cost me. All right, so if I go to my thing over here, all right, and I look at my account history, all right, so that was $100 that cost me on one contract. Okay, that's I mean the futures contracts are highly leveraged. It's basically one coin, I believe, per contract. All right, so that's that's a $60,000 asset right there. Anyway, this thing is going vertical. Okay, no problem. This thing should vanish once the candle closes. Let me see. Is the trailing stop on? Oh, I have to turn the trailing stop off also. Okay, so the trade is gone. Okay, and you can see here that was the trade, right? So there's a history on the chart. So the warning candles, that one had not worked out for me, but I only had one contract. So the trend is now bullish. I'm still in counter trend, right? Trend is still bullish. I'm still in counter trend. If I get another yellow, orange candle, I'm going to try that again. Okay, I'm going to try it again. Now, let me say something about context. For again, if you're a beginner, it helps if you understand some context. What is that? You should at least understand basic technical analysis, such as trends and levels. I talk about this in my training program, right? It's the first two elements that I talk about. So you want to look at the bigger picture. So we can go to like an hourly chart, okay, to kind of get a sense of the bigger picture, because we want to know, right? We're trying to gather some clues here. Context. Like, what is Bitcoin doing? What levels? Was this thing at any important levels? Yeah, look, resistance. Old support becomes new resistance. See that? So that's a piece of important context. That's going to help me on my 1 minute time frame, because we are at a resistance in this area. So if I'm messing with counter trend signals, which I'm trying to do, this thing has a decent likelihood that if it sells off, that I can catch a decent runner, because there's potential there, because we have a specific level. This is not a random level. Old support typically becomes new resistance. So there we are, right? So the point of that is it's a reasonable level to look for counter trend. So you may say, well, how do I know when to put counter trend on? That's when you know. You find a level like that. So that may require a little bit of training. That's not something you're just going to intuitively figure out. Okay? So, but that's not a requirement. It just helps. So look, again, I'm waiting for the yellow, right? The orange. I keep calling it yellow. I see orange developing. How much time do we have? These are 1 minute. So that's going to close orange, and it's a pin bar. I'm shorting one. Okay, early entry on that short. Now, again, there's no guarantee that I'm going to get the signal. I could be completely wrong. This thing can do something stupid on me, right? This thing can do like this to me, and I'm short. So, like it's doing. See that? But let's see how it goes, because we are generally in a resistance level. So I'm willing to take a little pain on this. If I'm really wrong, I'll just blow it out again and take another small loss, right? That happens. If you do that too many times, or you do that with positions that are too big, this is, again, extremely aggressive. I haven't even waited for the signal yet. You can wipe out your account, okay? So what I'm showing you here is just so I can show you some action. But as a beginner, wait for the signal. Okay, use this. Okay, a signal's coming soon. That's what this tells you. Wait for the signal. Also, I'm working on a 1 minute chart. Okay, as a beginner, this might be advanced. Perhaps you should consider 3 minute charts, 5 minute charts. You could use this on hourly charts. You could use this on daily charts if you want to. I was just talking to someone yesterday about this. You can use this system with options too, stock options, which, I'll get into that eventually. This system works really well with certain types of option spreads. So there's a lot you can do with this tool. All right. And also you have to give it a chance too. A 14-day trial, a free trial, is a decent amount of time to play with it. But to really get a good feel for it, I would say you have to be on it at least a month. Okay. All right, so let's see where this thing goes. Let's see if this thing's going to continue to give me a hard time. Let me go back to the 60-minute. Again, this is super aggressive what I'm doing here. I shouldn't be in anything right now, but I like to do this. So I'm going to put this here as a reference, right, for our level. So I know that there's some resistance there. That's why I drew that horizontal line, because I know that there's some general resistance around here. So maybe I get the sell signal, maybe I get some more orange, I get some more warning. Let's see. Also, 1 minute charts tend to look a little more dramatic. All right. Right now, I'm minus another $78. All right. No problem. I haven't put on more contracts yet. Let's see what happens with that. I'm going to look at the chat now and see what you guys have to say. Okay. Do you have access to your videos archive? Brian, the videos are for members. You should have access to the meeting archive in the server, because you actually, I don't think I set up the access for that yet. You're supposed to have the access, but I'm still where I have to set up the permissions. But members, TradeScanner Pro members will have access to that. But that's why I'm also doing these sessions here, so that I can be up to date with people and give you guys updates and give you guys instruction. Okay. Okay. Hey, Pariah, good to see you. At the moment when a new trade pops up, so what's Dean saying here? Let's put this up so everyone can see. At the moment when a new trade pops up, it will show the new one. In the future, this will be a setting to keep the current trade on the chart if you are in it. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so see, Steen is thinking about how he's going to be pushing new updates, or these are updates that are in the pipeline. Brian says here, would you say the higher time frame, higher probability? Okay, the higher time frame, the more weight, not necessarily probability. It's still 50%. It's just the more weight this level carries, right? Like on that hourly chart, this area, the general area, carries a lot of weight. So I shouldn't be surprised to see a counter trend signal. Look at that. The signal's probably coming next. I'm putting on another contract right now. So the signal's not even, there's a signal. All right, so I just put on 2 contracts. Now, what I want to see here, I'm going to put on a third one just because the signal came on, right? So here's what I do next, right? So I just my first contract that I put on was over here, right? It went against me a little bit, but I know the general area is a resistance. So a bearish signal is likely, and I have counter trend mode on. Now I'm on a 1 minute chart, which again is changes a lot, right? So I saw this red candle and I said, okay, I like that. I'm going to add one. And then we had the signal, right? So those are the reasons why I put on the other 2. Now, my first one that I put on wasn't at a great price, but it was a starting point. And now I have 2 that are, basically break even right now. Here's the thing. If I get a candle that looks like this, right? We pop up like that. And then I get another candle that goes back through the entry price. I consider that another opportunity. Okay, now that's not something that's going to be intuitive on the chart. That's something that you have to know. Okay, that takes time to learn a little bit, right? Keep in mind, I have 25 years of experience. So that's a lot of experience in case you haven't, in case you have a hard time appreciating that. Most people say, oh, I've been at this for 5 years. Yeah, I've been at this 25 years. So there's certain things I'll see and I'll do aggressive things. For a beginner, that's not always a good idea. And the reason why, even if it works, the reason why it's not a good idea is because when it doesn't work, it's going to hurt your confidence. And confidence in the beginning especially is more valuable than money. Please keep that in mind. Write that on a piece of paper. Confidence is more valuable than money. I know greed drives everyone. Everyone wants to be rich tomorrow, but without confidence, you're definitely not getting there. Okay? You need confidence, especially in the beginning. Confidence comes from positive outcomes, right? Positive reinforcement. If you take a big losing trade, that hurts confidence. So you need to capture a couple of big winners and you're like, I feel good, right? So don't do these aggressive things that I do. Because first of all, I know what can go wrong, right? And I have no problem. I'm used to it. Things go wrong all the time. I know how to handle it. Like I know what to expect of these things. But if you don't, you're completely uncertain. Again, it can hurt your confidence. My confidence doesn't get hurt because I've been through all this. Okay. Okay. So, so I think I answered your question there, Brian. Yeah. So the bigger picture, again, you can trade the bigger picture. You have to find a time frame that you're comfortable with. I personally like the 1 minute. I like 30-second charts because I trade the NASDAQ and I trade like the S&P, and they require smaller time frames because they're wild. Okay, they're wild. Bitcoin, Forex pairs, other altcoins, they're a little more tame. This thing doesn't go nuts on me the wrong way like the NASDAQ will. So, you could be a little more patient with something like this. So I would suggest, again, find a time frame, like a 5 minute or 3 minute or a 15 minute. Keep in mind the frequency of trades will be smaller. There'll be less frequency like on a 5 minute chart. You may have 2 or 3 signals over an 8-hour period compared to 10 signals like you would get on a 1 minute chart. And not all the signals are going to be profitable. It's safe to say half of them will be losing trades. Half of them. That sucks. I don't want this system now. I want the 99% win rate system. Where's that one? Steen, can you build that one? It's safe to say, expect to be wrong half the time. You don't make money being right. You make money by maximizing when you are right. Okay? It really is like playing poker or playing like a slot machine, except the slot machine doesn't trend, right? And you can't do some of these things like we do here, like that you can do on, you can't do these things on a slot machine. I just like to bring up the slot machine example a lot because it's typically 100% random. The market is not 100% random. So we are trying to capitalize on those times when it's not. Now, win rates can vary. It's going to depend on your environment. It's going to depend on a lot of factors, right? Like, for example, this is a momentum-based system. That means that it's going to do best when there's momentum. Now, the time of day is a big factor to consider when you look for momentum. So, for example, best time to trade stocks would be 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Why? Because that's the U.S. market open. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of momentum. So between 9:30 and 10:30 a.m., going into noon, there's a lot of momentum. But if you think there's a lot of momentum at 4:30 in the afternoon, especially on a Friday, you're mistaken, right? And these things are barely going to move. And the system will not be very helpful in that type of environment. So understand the seasonality of volume. This is not working. And where's my trailing stop? Oh, it's not on. This is probably oh, look, it's touching the trailing stop right now. Okay, so this is telling me that I should be out of this thing. So I'm going to have to start buying this thing back. Let's see. I bought one back. How much am I losing? All right, it's less than $150. I'm going to get out of another one. Now, I'm going to hold on to one. Okay, I covered two. So I've reduced my risk based on the trailing stop. Okay, but what am I doing here? How come I haven't blown the whole thing out? I just reduced my risk. The reason why I haven't blown the whole thing out is because I believe that this area is a significant resistance area. Okay, so I'm using context. See, there we go. So they shook me out of two, but I still have one. So this signal basically was a losing signal. But if I get another opportunity to enter, right, I'll get back in. See, look at that, giving it right back. They shook me out, but not of the whole thing. So they blew me out of two. I still have one. Okay, and I'll start getting back into it, okay, in a moment here. So let's see if I can make the money back. Now, what time is it? All right, so this will close. I don't see any orange candles here. So this is probably not going to generate a signal in the next bar or two. We need some orange. Although I'm tempted to short one. I'm going to short one because I like this candle. I like this candle off of this level. It's the level that matters more than the candle. All right. So, oh, there we go. Oh, I never got yellow on that one. I guess it was too dramatic. Okay, so basically, we just got another signal. Look at this thing, man. This thing's all over the place. But I'm not going to add. I put one on. I'm not going to add another one until I get the outcome of this. Like, this is going straight to the stop. And I'm glad you could see this because this can happen. Now, my trailing stop is on. So this thing has to start going my way to see that thing again. Let's see what happens with this here. Now, keep in mind, like I said before, 1 minute candles can look very dramatic. These are 1 minute candles. Like if that was a 30-minute candle, I'd be wiping out the account. Oh, look at that. Went my way, back to the entry. Okay, shorting another one. So now I'm back to my original position. I shorted the second and third one. I kept my one on, and I'm just playing around in the noise here. Now, keep in mind, we have 10 minutes till the stock market closes. This is not on a Friday afternoon. This is not a good time to be doing this if this was real money. Just so you know, in terms of seasonality, you should not be fooling around with this at 4 o'clock on a Friday. Volume vanishes. Volume just goes away. Okay? So know your instrument. Bitcoin is affected by stock market volume, just generally. Okay? Usually now, Saturday and Sunday, Bitcoin trades, obviously. A good time I've noticed on Saturday, like between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time, there's some movement. Also at 8 o'clock at night Eastern time, there's movement. So you guys on these on these trial runs, check out Bitcoin tomorrow at those times. Also Sunday afternoon, like 3 p.m. Eastern time. Interesting time to look for trades, okay, on the smaller time frames. Again, you don't have to day trade this. I'm really extreme with the small time frame, but you can look at this like we can look at a 5 minute. It's just going to take forever for stuff to happen. Okay, there's a 5 minute. Okay. You could do this on a 15-minute. Also, if you say, well, I don't want to wait I don't want to wait around the computer all day long. Now, 15-minute, I only may get like 2 trades the whole day. I don't have time to sit in front of my computer. I work, right? That's what you may say to me. And I say, okay, no problem. You can go here and you could set a notification. I should have shown this earlier. You could set a notification, right, from TradingView, and you pick the trade scanner over here like this, and then you can tell TradingView how you want to receive the notification when a signal pops up. You could tell it to show you a pop-up on your app, which you can have on your phone or on your tablet. You can have an email sent to you. You can play a sound. All right, so you can do that. Now, Steen, I know Steen is he's working on a fix. There's a fix required for that, I believe, Steen, right? Is it still delayed? There's like a delayed reaction or something with those notifications. I know he's looking into that, because I mean, these notifications, realistically, they need to happen when the trade happens, right? Not 15 minutes after the trade happens. So, okay, so let's see what happens here. Again, this is not working for me. I took that second short, and it looks like I'm going to get stopped out. But let's see. Let me give it a chance. Again, my risk is defined, and it's important that I respect these levels. It's very important that I respect this risk. Now, once again, I'm going to mention that this general location is still a resistance area. So even if I get tapped out, I may go short again. I'm not going to start going long in a resistance area, even though this thing says the trend is bullish. I'm going to use that bigger picture resistance as my reference. I'm still not going to go long. If I'm going to go long, I want to go long near support levels. Okay, so that's how you don't blindly follow. Be aware of your levels. Be aware of your levels in relation to the trend. My supports are over here. Okay, and clearly we had a nice little move up, right? And we're fooling around resistances. It may be a minor resistance, right, relative to like the daily time frame, but this is a resistance area. So I should not be taking longs here anyway. So if you're in that situation, like, well, I don't want to short it because I don't like the fact that the trend is bullish and it's counter trend. So then you do nothing. Okay, you don't have to trade. You always have that option. Okay, so let's give this a little more time here. Okay, cool. So Steen is looking into that, looking into the notification delay. But anyway, that's something that, we'll have that fixed. But meanwhile, you could still just keep an eye on this thing and work with it the best you can. Also, that's why we have like the Trade Scanner Classic, which is the bot, and the bot sends out emails when a signal occurs. But the thing is, the bot only works on a larger time frame, and it's limited to like what coins it looks at. It's limited to what Forex pairs it looks at. It's limited to what types of stocks it looks at, where the Trade Scanner Pro is not limited to anything. You could use it however you want. Okay. Man, this thing sucks today. All right, so I'm getting a warning. Be nice if I could show a winning trade. Again, dramatic candles. What time is it? Okay, so we got 5 minutes till the stock market closes. Keep in mind, sometimes there is a correlation with the NASDAQ. By the way, you see non-farm payrolls today, people? Non-farm payrolls at 8:30? I mean, you see what kind of Bitcoin reacted to that, right? We've been talking about the Bitcoin support around that high 50s area. And obviously, non-farm payrolls had an effect. At least it appears. Maybe I'm wrong. All right. It's harder on the smaller time frames, like 1 minute. I think there's a delay. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So maybe the delay is less apparent on like if you're using a 5 minute or 15 minute or whatever, 30 minute, hourly. Probably the delay is not as like it is on these small time frames. I mean, think about it. It's a lot of data that's going through TradingView, and they got to send out all this stuff constantly. I mean, it's probably a very heavy amount of data for them to push out. Okay, so I'm waiting here for some sort of conclusion. Either we go to the stop. Man, I'm getting hammered today. Okay, or this thing turns around and starts going my way. Now, like I said, if this stops out, okay, I'll take the loss, okay? But I'm going to be prepared to get back in. Because like I said, you may take a few losing trades in a row, but when you catch the winner, you catch it, and you catch it with size, okay? So that's how you make more when you win than when you lose, than what you lose. Does that make sense? It's sort of a sizing strategy at the same time. I don't expect you to know how to do that in the beginning. So in the beginning, you just work with your one lot, right? And you just work with the reward risk ratio that this thing gives you. So this thing's stopping out. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens. Now, okay, that's clearly a stop out. I'm going to buy one back. All right. But this time, I'm only going to buy one back. Let's see how bad this gets. Because again, we're in a resistance area. Let's see. I may have to add that one back. Let's see what happens. Now, one thing I want to mention about reward risk ratio. I mentioned before. Oh man, that's not looking good. Hold on. Getting a little dramatic on me here. I'm just going to watch it. Now, and this, why isn't this going away? Is it because I have trailing stop on? Yeah, okay. If I put the trailing stop on, it goes away. See that? So once again, this trade over here, the historical trade, was a losing trade. Another one. All right, so I'm not liking that. I'm just going to get out, right, of that one. And again, I'm back to my one. I should be out of the whole position. I'm just giving one a chance. I got out of most of it. So I've done something. I've reduced my risk. One mistake I'm not making here is I'm not putting on more and more and more as it goes against me. Right? I'm taking the losses. Okay, not fine, no problem. I'm waiting for the winner. Okay? So if you're more conservative, you just get out of the whole thing and then you wait for the next setup. Like I was saying before, if you don't want to do the sizing thing, which you shouldn't do that in the beginning. In the beginning, just work with your one lot or work with a comfortable size. I went over like the sizing thing. Okay, we got the warning. Back in. Here we go again. I got one. Use the reward risk that comes with the system. Okay, and that is based over here. You see this is 1.5. So let me show you real quick. You can change that setting over here. See, it says reward ratio. So 1.5 means 1.5 to 1. But you could change that to 2. And now your orders will be 2 to 1 apart. Okay. You can change that to 3. So that means now you'll make 3 times what you're risking. That's where the orders will be placed. Okay. You can also put that 1, right? So that's 1 to 1 reward risk. If you're not expecting a whole lot and you want to work at the 1 to 1 ratio, you can do all that. Okay. I'm going to leave this back at 1.5 to 1. When you change that number, it changes right here. Okay. So if you have 2 to 1, that'll say 2. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's see what's going on with this Bitcoin thing. It is now 4 o'clock Eastern time. And this thing is rallying. And I'm short. 2. Okay, let's look back now. Let's go to the hourly and see what is going on in the bigger picture here. Because this thing is just not helping me at all. So look at this. So we're just fooling around here. This is not like, it looks very dramatic on a 1-minute chart. But what is going on here? This really isn't that dramatic. I mean, we have a zone here. Look, I can go back to these old supports that all broke. And there's a zone here, which means you could fool around in that area. Okay. So my risk is really not that great here, right? As far as this thing is, this thing is not likely to do this on me, right? Based on the hourly chart. On a 1 minute, it looks like it's doing that, but look where we are. So location is key. Look, I can also do like a fib. Let's see where we are with the fibs. So we're just fooling around. This is basically, it's just over the 618 area, okay? Which means that also adds to the argument a bit, okay? It doesn't forecast the future, but that tells me this area is probably going to be cumbersome in terms of price action, right? It'll probably get hesitant here, okay? There's a better chance of that. So again, I'm putting context together. Let's go back to the 1 minute. Do I have a new signal over here? It looks like I do. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Gave it right back. Okay, so I have 2 contracts on. I have a signal. Time for the 3rd contract again. The 3rd time I'm doing this. So I've been in the original contract all along, right? The original one, I think I shorted it. Where did I short the original one? Over here, I think, somewhere. Okay, and then I've been trying to manage this position on all these trades, and these trades are just not working. Okay, So now I have a new signal up here. So I went over that bigger picture, and that bigger picture gives me confidence that this is probably going to pull back, that this is just noise. Okay, so you can say, oh, you're fighting the trend. I'm fighting the 1 minute trend, but location on the bigger picture carries more weight. So you have to recognize that. Now, yeah, I could still be wrong, and I may have to take a bigger loss. That can happen. And if you're not comfortable with that idea, don't do it. Especially like if you have a small account, you have to watch your risk percent on the account. We talked about it the other day during the meeting, which again, you could watch on the YouTube channel. All right. 2% is the typical risk, all right, per trade. But if you have a small account, 2%, like on $1,000 is only $20. It's very hard to make money with that, right? So you have to figure that out. Like if you're working with a small account, like $1,000, you should not be in futures contracts with this type of leverage. You can trade nano lots. Like you can open an account with like 8 cap or something, and they let you trade nano lots in Bitcoin, which are tiny. And you can keep your risk under control that way. Sure, you're not going to turn your $1,000 account into $2,000 anytime soon, but that is not the point. If that's what you're all about, go to the casino, right? To make like significant money, you must have significant money in your account. You have to have $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 to make the, oh, I want to make $500. Okay, you need to have a significant account to do that. Doing that on $1,000 account means you have to take immense risk. And you're going to be wrong half the time, okay? So far, all these trades have been wrong. They've been stopping me out, okay? But I still believe in the level. I'm giving the level a chance. So let's see how this plays out. All right? Cool. Hey, Will, how are you? Good to see you. Long time no see. How do you like the TradeScanner Pro? Have you even seen this thing yet? This is the script version of the TradeScanner on TradingView. As an active investor, by the way, you have access to this. You just have to let me know what you're trading. You actually have to go on to, how would you do that? You'd have to let me know on TradingView what your TradingView username is. And I could set you up with this. So so this video is a tutorial video, but there's other videos I've done on YouTube that explain how this thing works. You can back and watch the beginning of this. If you want access to it, just let me know. Active investors, I give this to them for free at no extra cost because they were willing to invest in me early on. Okay, so you'll probably want it, Will. I know you're pretty active. You're probably going to want it. Okay. Oh, do you want it? All right. I'll remember that. Wilbur 70. Okay. So give me a few hours though, Will. It's not automatic. I got to set that up and all that stuff. Okay. So anyway, so let's see how this goes. So understand, Will, this is the TradeScanner, right? Just like the emails that you get, except the power is in your hands now. You can watch any market you want on any time frame you want. Okay, and it places the orders just like, it shows you the order suggestions, just like the emails that go out, except now it's specific to your market and your time frame. Okay, and I'm explaining to you how it works. Watch this video from the beginning, and you'll learn about all the settings and all that stuff and how it works. Okay, so we got a signal here, right? As you can see, another signal popped up. That's this over here. So far, as you guys have been watching, right, we had this counter trend. We had all these counter trend signals, and not one has paid off yet. Okay, so time of day has something to do with this. All I need this thing to do, you realize, is push either to the take profit or even halfway there. All right, let me turn my trailing stop back on, and let's see the trailing stop. Now, keep in mind, the trailing stop, all right, it doesn't appear here yet because it's not. The market needs to start moving my way for that thing to appear. The trailing stop is based on the closing prices. So it doesn't move 1-to-1 with the candle. It'll stay static until the candle closes, and then it adjusts. Just so you guys know. Okay? All right, cool. Any questions, you guys? Any questions? I'm still waiting for this thing to work out here, work my way. So it's good for you to see me go through something like this because you're going to face situations like this, right? It's good to see something that's like a reluctant market. There's the trailing stop. So now it starts to reduce my risk. Okay, so now as we watch this, people, if you want to know how to get to this, right? If you're new and you're like, well, how do I do this trail? How do I do this 14-day free trial? Here, you go to this link. I'm going to type it in. Okay, hold on. Let me just type it in here while we watch the trade. Man, I can't see. All right. All right, so this is the link. Okay, it's in the chat there. And I'm going to show it up on the screen. So you go to that link right there, right? And that will take you to this page right here. Market Signals Pro. See that? Takes you right there. And you scroll through here. It explains how it all works. And then it takes you right over here. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that. Now, it takes you to this right here, which is the pricing portion right here. All right. So this is the yearly price, $22.50 a month. You're saving 25%. The monthly price, you just make that little press the switch. It's $30 a month. You have a 14-day free trial. You get all these other things as well, like the chat channels and stuff. And you click on this over here. It takes you to this page. Make sure you put your TradingView username over here. Okay. Put it over here. I'm just going to put some letters in there so you can see. Make sure you do that. Otherwise, I can't send you an invite. Okay. So that's how you get to it. That's how you sign up for it. You have a 14-day free trial. So you will not get billed for 14 days. You can cancel anytime. It's very easy to cancel. Man, this trade is going to cancel me right out over here. You can cancel it anytime. And from your panel there, from your user panel, from your user dashboard. Okay, man, I'm gonna have to get out of this thing again. So let me buy them back. And this thing just isn't working. So let's. All right, I'm gonna hold off here. I'm still gonna stay short one because I still believe that the location is just being problematic. Now I'm gonna also do this. Let's go to a 30-second. I'm on a 1 minute, which takes forever. Look at all these counter trend signals on the 1 minute. Not one trend signal, right? Well, let me turn this thing off. Let me turn counter trend off on the 30-second. Do I have any? I don't have any longs, huh? The trend is bullish. So these were when the trend was bearish. There's a trade here. Let me turn off the trailing stop. Not one long during this. Okay, that's going to happen. Sometimes on a smaller time frame, you can get the long signals, right? Like if I go to a 15-second chart, I really don't recommend going to that time frame. But on a 15-second chart, look, we'll spot something. There's one right here. Okay, so these little pullbacks a lot of times will generate long signals on the smallest time frame. But again, that's like you're looking for small numbers there, right? Small movements, and things change very fast. On the 1 minute, I'm still waiting for this counter trend trade to work, but it's just not working. Look where we are. So this is a reluctant market. It's a bad time of day, and you're going to face situations like this. Should I blow out of this third one that I've been trying to manage? I mean, I'm trying to work with this here. Let's see if it gives me an opportunity. Here we go again. All right, so I got a pin bar. I got a failed high. I'm going to turn counter trend back on. All right. Now again, and this is why having the historical trades on the chart is helpful. I mean, I could see how many times this thing failed in counter trend mode. I'm looking, we're getting trades all over the place, and they're not working. This thing is just reluctant. But we're at a level where this thing is likely to turn the other way. So let's just give this thing a little more of a chance, and I'll blow it out. Now, notice I'm not putting on more now. I'm not being aggressive. I'm being more conservative. Even though we got an orange candle over here. You see this orange candle. Is that orange? No, I can't tell. Might be red. But this is a failed high location, right? Let's go back to the hourly. And look at the hourly. Look at all the warning on here on these hourly bars. That's interesting. So, I mean, if I was going to do this on the hourly, I'd have to be prepared to take a lot more pain. I'm working with the 1 minute, so my pain should not be that much, right? And you have to respect those stops. I don't even have a signal on the hourly, but this thing means the orange candles on this time frame mean over the next few hours. What? You guys tell me. What is likely to appear over the next few hours with these candles in my face? Let's see if you guys have been paying attention. What is likely to appear in this area over here? What is likely to appear? Anyone? You guys paying attention, or am I in a channel full of bots over here? I think I have like 3 people watching, and then everyone else is a bot. Anyone? What should appear over here? Come on, my TradeScanner Pro users, you should know this. You guys are using this. What should appear in this area? What should I expect in this area? Okay, Will, but you don't have the TradeScanner, so I don't expect you to answer that right. If I identify as a I think you're not you, but there's a lot of other people that are bots. Because I see all these people watching, and then no one types anything. So Stian, I was going to say everyone but Stian can answer because he knows the answers. So a short signal, yes, a short signal, because we have a warning. This is warning me of what? A short signal is likely to appear in the next few hours. That's the whole point of the heads up and the orange candles. Okay, now this is an hourly chart, which means over the next few hours, a sell signal, a short signal, is likely to appear. Now, I've been using the warning on the 1 minute, which means over the next few minutes, a signal is likely to appear on a 1 minute chart. All right. But this warning also gives me more confidence that this move up that we're looking at right now is likely to turn soon. And keep in mind, if I catch the short, I'm not looking for a move back to here. Realize I'm hoping to get a move like to there. And that's assuming I'm on the 1 minute chart, but I'm showing you the map on the hourly. Okay. So again, this is how I get context. People, they usually think in terms of greed, and they think, oh, I'm going to cover it all the way over here. No, you grab what you can, especially when it's going against you like this constantly. It goes your way a bit. You turn green, you make your money back, you get out. Okay. Don't expect all of this. It can happen. There could be a significant pullback, possibly, right? It can happen. You may get like a series of candles that takes this thing back here. It can happen, but there's no way to know the probability of that. Okay, so that's where the trailing stop comes in, and it can help you stay in it longer if you follow the trailing stop. So let's go back to our 1 minute. All right, so you saw my 1 minute rationale, right? I got warnings over here, but this thing refuses to pull back. Okay, so I still have one on. I'm just not liking this thing anymore. All right, hold on. Let's give it a chance to see how this candle works out. It looks dramatic on the 1 minute. Man, it looks really dramatic. How many points is that? All right. So we're through this area over here. But you notice how like the candle starts out all strong and aggressive, right? And then we get like a tail. See that? The candle's not closed yet. But when I see stuff like that, a lot of times it's like, all right, how far is this thing really going to go? I only have one lot on, and I'm not putting on more and more and more. I'm not doing that, if you notice. I was trying it before when I got confirmation signals, but those signals never followed through. Look at them. Look how many. There's like 5 signals here on this time frame. 5 in the hour that I've been talking. Okay, and none of them worked. So, time of day, this thing is going to, you may be thinking, why don't I just go long? I'm going to go long now. I'm not going to go long now in the middle of this resistance. That's like I'm reacting to the top. I'm reacting like I'm thinking, oh, it's going to go up forever, right? You can't get affected by that. My only choice right now is to just get out, not to go long. So I just get out and get flat. Don't go long. Because by the time you decide I'm going long, that's usually the worst time to get long. If I decide to go long, it's probably going to be the peak. And then over the next hour, you're going to see it pull back to here, right? That's why you don't do it. Just get out and get flat. Okay, that would be the right thing, or that would be one choice. Now, let's see if we get some warnings up here or what. And let me go back to my hourly and see, like, where are we in terms of the bigger picture? So we're through this resistance. It looks like that was a resistance. We're through it. Okay, so this thing is showing some strength. All right, not what I want to see when I'm short. So I was a little more confident with it before. Now I'm less confident with it. So I don't keep putting on more. Hey, Alex, you guys following me so far? So again, I'm still watching for the counter trend. Let's see. I'll give it one more chance. Let's see. Now, I'm not going to put on more yet because these warnings, while I keep getting them, this thing just keeps pushing higher and higher, right? So there's a warning. I just got one on the 1 minute. So I'm expecting the signal soon. Let's see how it goes. Okay, I'm not going to add. I'm still short one from a bad price. Let's see, what price am I short from? 61,908. We're at 62,350. That sucks. Okay, so getting some warning here. Okay. I'm tempted to short more, but let's wait for the signal. It's Good Friday, my country. And I was, oh, okay. No problem, Alex. Again, I don't do these streams all the time. You know, I had some time. I'm like, let me. I also wanted to do like a tutorial stream, more of a tutorial on how to use a trade scanner. So I spent a lot of time in the beginning talking about the settings and all that stuff. Okay, I like this warning here. I'm just going to be aggressive. I'm putting on one. All right, so I have two again, one from a really bad price and one from maybe a good price. So I should be seeing a signal soon, right? Because we got the warning. I'm in counter trend mode. Let's see what happens. I'll give this a little bit more of a chance, and then if it just doesn't work, I'll just stop. At some point, you have to stop. Okay, you're not going to win all the time. Sometimes, the counter trend, you're going to fight the market, like I'm fighting it here. But all while I'm fighting this, if I go into trend mode, if I turn counter trend off right now, in trend mode, there are no long signals. So if I'm going to find long signals, again, I have to go to like a 15-second chart because this thing is just being stupid. Like it doesn't pull back at all. I call that being stupid because it just keeps going and going and going, right? With no pullbacks at all. It happens sometimes. Okay, so they usually call that a slow grind. And during a slow grind, it's very common to see a lot of counter trend signals. And they're going to get stopped out a lot. That's what you're seeing here. So learn from this. It's on paper. Learn from this now so it doesn't have to cost you real money because you're going to be faced with a situation like this. Okay? So let's see what happens. All right, any questions, you guys? Any questions about, like what's going on here? Any comments, questions? What would you guys do in this situation? Would you guys be completely out? Would you guys be going long? Tell me. Now it's a little easier after the fact now because we saw how this move played out. But what would you guys do right now? Would you guys just blow out the short and say, okay, screw this thing? Or would you guys say, I'd still be open to the short, but once we get the signal, I'll try it again? What would you tell me what you guys would do? Good thing I'm doing this on paper. Man, this thing is just slow grind. All right, so counter trend, so I got some warnings, and it's just we're not getting the reversal. We're not getting that mean reversion. It's just not happening for whatever reason. Now, keep in mind, during this, you may think this is great momentum, but actually, in a low momentum environment, you can get these slow grinds. This is very common during holidays, if you notice. Like on like the day before a major holiday, a lot of times you may get a slow grind market. They're very hard to be on the wrong side of. Like they're very hard. If you short like a strong slow grind, it's very painful. I'd be sitting on the side. Okay. It's a good answer. I trade Bitcoin for a living. I just closed out the majority of my long a couple of minutes ago. Interesting. But you day trade, or are you talking about bigger picture? Steven says, wait for the signal. Okay, that's a good answer. Yeah, keep in mind, most of my losing trades here came from getting in on the warnings. I got in early. I told you they're aggressive. It's just when they work nice, right? And it looks magical. But when they don't work, this is what it looks like. So it's good for you guys to see this reality, to see this honesty. You day trade, okay? Okay, cool. So you got out of your long. Nice job. So, man, this thing is just, there's something going on. All right, no problem. This thing is just giving me a hard time. I'm getting the warnings and it just doesn't want to go the other way. No problem. So let's take a look at some other time frames, like a 2 minute. Wow, look at that. It's like vertical. There was a short here on the 2 minute. That got stopped out. This guy, the 2 minute just vanished. Man. I should have stayed long from earlier. But that's easy to say now. So is my 1 minute. Is the trade knocked out over here too? I guess it is. No, wait, hold on a minute. Where's my, I turned off the thing. There it is. Okay, I was going to say, where are my historical trades? All right, so let's see. I keep getting warnings. Now, sometimes, I'm just going to explain this. Sometimes you get a series of warnings together like this. See how they're kind of stacked? I like those. I mean, it's not working right now. But when I see these like this, typically, when an environment is more flexible, usually what these lead to are a failed high. Same thing on a short side, right? Like if you're seeing lows like this and they're stacked on top of each other like that, a lot of times it will lead to a failed low. So I like getting in on those because they're usually higher probability. But this situation right here is just like relentless. Look at this. I'm suspecting there may be some news driving this. There may be some talk somewhere. Someone may be talking about something. I don't know. Maybe they let CZ out of jail. Maybe let him out of jail on good behavior. He's only been in prison for like a couple of days. Like, oh, you could leave. I don't know. But see, I don't search for news or anything like that. There's no need for that. I'm only looking for momentum. And if momentum is not going my way, then I'm not going to just keep putting on more, and I'm not going to just keep whatever. All right, this just looks bad. I'm buying some back. If this thing just keeps going in a straight line, I'm just going to get out. So let me go back to my bigger picture. Let's go to a 4 hour. What's going on in the 4 hour? I mean, look at this on the 4 hour. Man. So this thing blew through that resistance, that old support, new resistance that we talked about here. Yeah, meaning I don't trade on news. But some people, what happens is when you get a move like this, people start going, well, there must be news. So, they start looking around because they need to find a reason for everything. And when you trade technical and you're working specifically with momentum, news doesn't matter, right? None of that matters because that's usually priced in. So you don't chase news. You never chase news. And you never react to it either. If there is some news that just came out maybe a few minutes ago or 30 minutes ago and it's been driving this thing, all right, let's say there's some positive news. I'm not going to turn around and start buying this thing now. I mean, look, if I should have been buying it, I should have been buying it here, right? Not now. So yeah, I was aggressively shorting it. I'm wrong. I lost a bunch of money on paper, but I'm not going to turn around and go long now. Okay, you may say that's stubborn. I have a closed mind. Well, no, I have to respect the location. So as amazing as this looks, right? This looks like a monster move. It looks amazing. As amazing as that looks, I still have to respect the location, okay, and not react to what I see, which is a very common mistake. So I'm respecting the location. If I'm wrong, I just blow it out. Okay, so I keep getting these warnings. They haven't been paying off. I mean, look at this move. So I was shorting all this over here, and this thing's just vertical. Looks like it's going to continue. Now, notice another thing I want to point out, right? There's a 1 minute chart, okay? We got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Then the one red. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just like minute after minute. We're not even getting red candles. Like this type of move is usually driven by something when it's just vertical like this and it's just relentless. And when it stops, that's when the pullback happens. Okay. I'm hoping we can see that during the stream, but maybe not. So we'll give this thing a few more minutes. Now I'm getting a 1 minute pin bar. What time is it? All right. So we're going to get a pin bar here. Maybe this is the beginning of the pullback. Maybe we'll see. And maybe we'll get a signal too, because we are getting orange candles. So in this situation, right, I would normally be aggressive and put on more here, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to wait for the signal. I'm getting more conservative because this thing is just, I don't want to keep fighting it. So understand, people, like, this is reality. Should you follow the stops to the T in the beginning? Yes. But, as you get more experience, like as you can see, I still have one lot on. I would do this in reality. I would have a small position on to see how bad it gets. And if it just keeps going and going and going, all right, I have to take I have to take a larger losing trade. But when I catch a winner, because it was only one contract, when I catch the winner, hopefully I'm catching that winner on 3 or 4 contracts. Okay. Okay, I agree. I'm reducing my long further. You're out. Okay. He's out. Nice. Now, what got you into the trade? Look, there's the signal. Okay, I'm going to try this one here. So I put one back on. Okay. So I'm back to 2 contracts. What got you into that trade in the beginning? You want to tell us, like, the idea, the concept, or you don't have to give us all the details, but was there something specific you saw? I was just curious. And a system like mine works in conjunction with other systems as well. Like you can use this in a lot of ways. Like I was saying before, you could use this with options. I held it since the reaction to the news. Oh, okay. So the non-farm payrolls. Nice. So, again, you could use this with wave counts. You can use this with options. But options, obviously, you're not going to do this on a 1 minute chart. With options, you're going to be looking at a daily chart, possibly a 4-hour chart. Like you need bigger picture for options. Options are going to hold on for a few days. But the great thing with options is the way you can control the risk. That's an amazing thing. So we'll get into that sometime. But all right, let's see if we get the pullback now. Because this thing has been really like, what a pain today. But it's good that you see reality. If you see winning trades all the time, you're going to get like the wrong impression. You're going to go, oh, this thing's magical, right? And you're going to think you're going to be a millionaire tomorrow. And I don't want to give that impression. I'd rather have you see the reality of the market and how to deal with it, because you're going to deal with this. You are going to deal with a situation like this. Okay. So again, candles are a little more supportive right now. By the way, candlesticks also can be very helpful, like pin bars and stuff like that. These are all elements that I go over in my training program. I'm not pushing my training program right now because I want to make some updates to it, but I do have a training program, right? That would actually go very well with, as far as helping you, giving you the insight and perspective that you can use with the system. All right, so now the trailing stop, as you can see, is active. Let's see if this pullback goes anywhere or not. I mean, so far the pullbacks have been ridiculously non-existent. So slow grind, no volume, market close on a Friday, bad time to be stuck in positions. All right, so you should know that off the bat. In reality, I would not trade on a Friday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I just want to show you how the script works. So any questions? Any questions about the settings? Stian is working on some updates, so we'll be pushing some new updates soon on fixing some of the things here, making some adjustments and stuff like that. Some people have offered some interesting suggestions that we're also very open to. If you have suggestions, feel free to to share them, you can contact Stian, in the Discord server or, on TradingView or whatever. Feel free to share your ideas with him. He loves to hear new ideas. All right, that he could potentially implement and that only makes the experience better for you. Okay, so let's see if what this thing does here. Now, one thing that I like to do, and I don't know if this is going to give me the opportunity to do it, but one thing I like to do in a situation like this is, we get the signal, right? We got the signal, and then it goes against the signal. As you can see, like this little green here. Or maybe we get another green candle that does this. Maybe we get like something like this, like it's doing. There it goes. Okay. We get something like this. But then the candle after that gives me like a large red candle back through the entry price. I like to add in those situations. Okay. Now, again, it doesn't always work. There we go. This thing's not working. I'm not going to add now. But if it goes back below the entry price, I'll consider it. Now, again, it may work. It may not work. But this time of day in this relentless move, things are just not working. Right? Which goes to show how important time of day is. Now, one positive thing here is my risk has been reduced, right? Look at the trailing stop. Now realize the trailing stop, how that helps me is over time. If I'm taking trades and I'm not taking the full stop, my risk is being reduced over time, which skews my reward risk ratio favorably, right? So instead of losing $100, maybe I'm losing $50 on the average. But when I'm winning, I'm averaging $100 on my wins, right? So what is that? That's 2 to 1, is it not? Okay, so got the red candle. I'm going to do it. Let's do it. Back to 3 contracts. I don't know if it's going to work. Let's see. But again, so the point is, that's why the trailing stop really adds a lot of value. That alone. Now, if this thing happens to go my way, and over the next hour, we're getting candles that are taking this thing back into this area, the trailing stop will follow it, right? And if price breaks below the take profit, like this, the trailing stop theoretically will follow it. And that's how you catch big winners, okay? If the trailing stop follows it and this thing just keeps going and going and going, there are times when you can capture, like as you could see, like this thing kept going and going and going, but I never had a long trade. But if that was a long trade, the trailing stop may have kept me in for a lot of that, right? And that's where you can achieve an 8 to 1 reward risk, which is very hard to do. All right, but when you have a tool like this, it makes it a lot easier. As you can see, this thing just doesn't want to cooperate today. So I had my little entry, my little ad, and the market's like, nope. Now I'm just curious, if I go to a 30-second chart, I'm just curious, am I getting long signals on there? Let's see. No, got a short signal there. Let me go to a 15-second. I'm just curious. Any long signals anywhere? No longs. I'm in counter trend mode. Let me turn the counter trend mode off. See, so you have to jump around. Note, like I'm changing those settings. I'm going back and forth, right? No long signals. Man, nothing. Because when there's no long signals and we're getting a move like this, that means this move is like, it's a low volume move because it's not pulling back. In order for me to get a long signal, it needs to pull back. This is a 15-second. Let me go back to my minute chart. That signal stopped out. This signal stopped out. Right, the signal's gone because it went to the trailing stop. All right, now this thing's fooling around a bit. I'm going to try to hold this a little longer. Let me go. Is this the 1 minute? Do I have a signal on the 2 minute? What is this? That's an old signal. I turn the trailing stop off. If I go back to my 1 minute, the trailing stop was touched. Okay. So the signal, that's the signal. It's still there. But it may go to the stop. Again, this thing has been uncooperative the whole day. The whole time I've been doing this. So let's see what this thing does here. But when we don't get like a significant pullback where I can even get a buy signal, that usually says something about the volume. Ken, is there any possibility to define coupon for Turkey users? Thanks to my president pumped the US dollar. By the way, you may want to have a look at the US dollar. Okay. Oh, so there's something there. Okay. We just got stopped out again. Time to buy back. All right, this thing is just not working today. I'm out. I mean, that was like trade after trade after trade. Let's take a look at how bad this was. So look at this. Not a good day. Okay. So it's like let's see if I can add this up. Man, all these losing trades. So was that $100? I'm not going to count this $10 one. That's $200, $260, $320, $440. Like we'll just make this $700, $900. I'm just going to round it. This is about $2,000 worth of losses. $2,000. That's a lot. Okay, but that's me being aggressive. Now look, it turns around. But that's, when you're throwing around these kind of positions, I mean, one contract is obviously a large position, and I'm putting on 2 or 3, and it's going against me, right? That can happen. I mean, that's a lot. I'm going to turn the trailing stop back on. Okay, that trade is off. We may get another trade soon. What time is it? Okay, let's see what this thing does. But so a few lessons to be learned here, right? Time of day. Avoid slow times. You can get caught in a slow grind like this. A couple, signals are 50%. Half of them are going to be wrong. And man, not one of these was right. You can get a string of these like that. That's why keeping your risk under control is so important. This can wipe out your account if you're too big, right? If I had a $5,000 account and I'm taking positions that are this big, I just wiped out half the account almost. Okay, so that's why you can't do that. You have to be very cognizant of that. Okay, so to answer this question about Turkey, I don't have any coupons for this thing right now. I mean, $30 a month US. I know the lira is obviously weaker, but consider you could save 25% by doing the yearly. The yearly is $22.50 a month. I don't know what that translates to in Turkish lira, but $22.50 a month, that's pretty reasonable. Most tools like this, the lower priced ones, are $40 a month from what I've seen. And I've seen some ridiculous numbers like $1,200 for a one-time payment, which is just robbery. That's just outright robbery. So I'm priced pretty reasonable, I think. So I mean, if this is too much for you, then I don't have any coupons. So I would consider the yearly. You can save 25%, right? If I take you back to that page, right? Look, $22.50 a month if you do the yearly. Okay, and you can, if you want to pay in Tether, just let me know, and I could take the payment in Tether, but it's only for yearly. Okay, so you guys see the value here? Okay, cool. So look, I'm sorry I couldn't show you a winning trade. I like to show winning trades, but this is a real situation that can happen to you. And I'd rather you see it on paper or you observe it while you watch me wrestle with this thing than have to lose the money yourself. Now, look, I mean, see how it's hesitating now? Like, sure, I want to get back in, but I keep getting back in and I keep losing. So there's no signal there. I'm just not going to keep messing with it. At some point, you have to stop. Okay. And then, wait for a better day. It sucks sometimes, but that's what you have to do. We all go through that. Okay. So again, this is on paper. This is not real money. And it would not be pleasant if this was real money. But I do go through these situations with real money. This happens sometimes. Okay. But I stop earlier. I don't go through this whole process. and keep fighting it. Look, so there's a signal. All right. I'm going to try this once more. I got a signal. I'm going to try it. I just gave you a speech about just stopping, but I want to demonstrate the script, and it's on paper. So, but in reality, at this point, I would just turn off the computer. Okay. So let's see. I put on 2 contracts here. Let's see if I can make some of that money back. Now, one thing that I like about this situation, which so far hasn't been helping, is I do like the double top. I do like this double top. Okay, you have a top over here, right? It failed high, and then it tried to go a little higher. So maybe that'll turn into something. Also, let's go back to our hourly. You should be checking the bigger pictures. I mean, come on with this. Look at this, vertical. So we got all that warning to get just vertical in your face. Ridiculous. But that's the market. I mean, look, the market's always right, not me. Do I have any levels around here? Not really. What do I have? I have something over here. Oh, because there is a level over here. See, there is a level. There is some support over here, old supports. So, all right. So that makes sense too. The original resistance was completely useless, right? This one over here. That's what I mean. Like, markets are random. Yes, there was a probability that we could have sold off from there, but the market's like, nope, not selling off from there. And it breaks through. And you say, oh, this sucks. This is rigged. No, it's not rigged. It's random. Okay, that's why you can't sell in front of those levels with a lot of confidence. I was aggressively trying to get in. There were a few signals, no follow through. All right, so you guys follow that? So you guys learning, like, just as far as how to combine some of these elements of context? Look at this, more green. More green. All right. What we got a minute. If this thing closes, if I don't see some sort of like rejection here, I'm just getting out again. I'm not even gonna let it go to the stop. There's just no point. See, so it kind of rejected that level before. Let's see if it rejects again. If I get like strong green, right? If I get something like this, I'm just gonna get out. I'm not even gonna let it go to the stop. I'm just gonna get out, and I'm gonna just conclude the stream. Let's see what it wants to do. So again, notice I don't know what it's going to do. I don't pretend to know what it's going to do. I let it tell me. What is it going to do? If it does something I don't like, I'm just going to blow it out. Where's my trailing stop? It's on. Okay. This thing just doesn't go my way. So we'll give it another minute or two. Now, like I said before, in these situations, if I get a large candle going my way, I like to add more, but I'm not going to do that now. Like if I got one of these, I would try to add more. But this is what I don't want to see. All right, goodbye. Out. Oh, no, I'm long too. I don't want to be long. This is probably the top now. Let me get out of this. Okay, I'm out. So yeah, I'm not going to mess with this. It doesn't want to pull back. So we keep getting these signals. It just refuses to pull back. So this is like what I like to think of as a stupid long. Like I can, just get long and it just stupidly goes without pulling back. But of course, if I do that right here, that's the top. So I'm not doing it. Okay, cool. All right. Any questions, you guys? I've been talking for a while. I appreciate you guys joining me on a Friday and letting me do this demonstration. So for those of you that saw this, that maybe came in midstream, make sure you watch the beginning because that's where I go over all the features and things like that. There's my red candle coming, by the way. All those features and stuff, so you get more familiar with the tool and how it works. Like I said, paper trade, okay? Paper trade in the beginning. Also, if you're serious about this, give it a chance. Work with it. 14 days is kind of not enough to really get a good feel, right? I say you need like a month. Okay, sure, I'm going to say that because, it's a subscription-based thing, but I'm being honest. You need some time to get the nuance of it, right? And see situations like this. Look, good thing I got out. This is stopping out again. So give it some time. And again, if you don't like it, again, you can cancel anytime. It's very easy to cancel. All right. You just go to your member dashboard, you cancel it, and you don't get billed. All right. So guys, again, if you want to sign up, just go to Market Signals Pro. I'll put the link up here so you can see it again. All right. Just go to this page right here. Where is my link? I'm looking for my link. All right. I can't see it. I had the link on before. Now I can't see my link. There it is. Oh, I just turned it off. So there's my link, right? So just go to the link. Takes you to this page, like I said. Takes you here. You can sign up for the free trial here. All right. 14 days. And get it started. Just, again, give me some time to send you the invite. It takes me, depends on when I get your sign up, it takes me a few hours. So please give me a few hours. It's not an instant invite. All right, you guys. So any other questions before I wrap this thing up? Again, please press the like button, subscribe to the channel if you like this content, because it's helpful for me. And I'll be doing more things like this so that we can get more examples and you can see some winning examples as well. All right. But again, you guys, after the day is over, you guys are on your own with this thing, right? I'm not pressing the buttons for you. I'm just trying to show you some real-time examples so that you guys can be better prepared for these situations. All right. So Will, give me a couple hours and I'll have that invite over to you and I'll let you know on TradingView. Okay. And I'll take care of you there. All right, you guys. So again, enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your evening, wherever you are in the world. And thank you very much for watching.